Prosperity and abundance to everyone tuning in. I am Mrs.Melanin Reigns, and it is an honor and a pleasure to be back with you all. So I said I would make a follow-up video about generational curse keepers. I know we talk a lot about generational curse breakers. It's a big topic. A lot of people talk about generational wealth, and it's something that's been becoming more popular, especially in the last few years. I wanted to talk about generational curse keepers because I believe that it's the least spoken about topic as it pertains to generational anything. And for a lot of us, once you get to a certain point, a certain level, you'll start to really be able to discern more naturally. When you first come upon your spiritual journey, or even if you have long been aligned, like had a conscious, true relationship with God, even if those things have been pressed upon you, every time you grow, you'll elevate and your discernment will become more sharper. Not only just it being sharp, but you trusting the intuitive nudges that you get, the messages that you get, the signs that people show you, the patterns that are being exposed in your own life and as it pertains to other people. And in a lot of situations, you may come upon resistance, right? And it depends on how you perceive it. Some people want to be positive about these things. But one of the things that I have been really speaking on and allowing within my own life is for me to, when you see wickedness, just call it for what it is, right? And when you have a flexible mind, you will be able to understand that person. You may not even take what that person is doing as something that you take personal. You may be able to understand based upon what you know about them. Whatever the case may be, it does not matter. It's important to be able to identify wickedness for what it is, not try to change it, not try to romanticize it. You don't even have to be necessarily positive about it, but to identify it exactly for what it is. So when it comes to generational curse keepers, I talked about it and I specified in that video, I said, I'm not necessarily talking about the ones in your lineage. However, they exist in your lineage. These are old matriarchs and patriarchs that hold together their toxic systems. You'll see they're the head of all of the gossip. They're the head of all of the picking and choosing. They have a lot of chaos that they spew within the bloodline, but also this is the person everybody comes to because this is also the person that kind of holds it all together. So generational curse keepers absolutely exist within your own lineage. Okay, these are people who, when you are going upon things differently, even if because you don't need to press upon what you are doing, you can just lead by example. It's the best way to do things. But those who fight against you, those who ridicule you, and some of the time you'll even see them later copying you. These can be some of the generational curse keepers within your family. They may isolate you. You may be a golden child within that system, but you see that the favor is catered to maybe if you have certain degrees or you look a certain way, or the superficial aspects of who you are. They really don't see you in your fullness. And it's not to, again, place blames on any individuals. It kind of just is what it is, right? And so outside of your own lineage, it's important to identify these people, especially when it comes to romantic partners, as one of the biggest sectors that these generational curse keepers come into. And if you were to actually have history of maybe your ancestors and their ancestors, there may have been a tie in the past. There may have been some type of connection, whether they were neighbors, whether they are six cousins, or whatever the case may be. There's ultimately, if you can follow the trace, you'll see there was some type of past connection. And apart from that, whatever it is that is a stronghold within your family and your bloodline, that person's family could be the person that comes to seal the deal. Okay, that might be something that runs prevalent and they've allowed to run rampant within their lineage, and so they come in as that generational curse keeper. This manifests a lot of times in marriages, and it manifests a lot of times when you share children with people. That is one of the most sacred yet dangerous spaces to be in, because when a child is formulated, that means that child, if you have a generational curse breaker and a generational curse keeper fighting, whether it may not be physical fighting, but the fighting in the spiritual will ultimately manifest in the physical. This is why when you look in your case search, you see so many people in court cases as it pertains to children. And a lot of it may seem as petty little battles, but there are times where it is things that are more monumental and dangerous. Generational curses may be drinking. Generational curses can be dealing with perversion of all sorts. Everything from child being inappropriate with children, incest, all of those different things can manifest. And when you have a generational curse keeper that you tie yourself to in that form, is specifically prepare for them to fight hard when a child is involved, because that is a new life to take to whatever side they want them to be on. So when it comes to generational curse keepers, if it can't get you in that area of romance, of children, or marriage, it will get you in the area of business or finance or job, career, or friends. And again, of course, it exists within your family, but outside of your family, I'm telling you, wherever you may say, I'm going to cut these people off, it's something that will pop up as much as it can. And you have to be able to discern, and you have to be able to know how to turn it away 1,000 times if it pops up 1,000 times. Generational curse keepers are very, very chaotic beings. It will seemingly put your journey on a halt. You'll feel stagnant. You'll feel stolen from. You'll feel abused, violated. Maybe you were abused and violated, and now you have to deal with systems that themselves are flawed, human, and aspects of it corrupt. Generational curse keepers are extremely dangerous because they really come to steal, kill, and destroy. They cause a lot of psychological problems, if nothing else, and psychological problems that lead to you being in spaces that you never thought that you could be in. But when you are that generational curse breaker, then you know that there is power within you, and it needs to start with your spiritual hygiene and discernment. Don't put your spirit towards idols, towards seemingly spiritual nonsense, towards jealousy and envy, and wasting time in those areas of hocus pocus nonsense. But to really be diligent in the spirit, this is what it requires, and it does not mean that they will back down necessarily. Again, it is a fight. It is a huge, huge fight. And it's important for you to always know who you are and stay in alignment with God. A relationship with God. It's important for you to know and to take heed and to not allow others around you to be confused, because a lot of people are comfortable living at a certain level where there is no depth. And that is not to mock them. Everybody's entitled to do what they want to do. But when you are journeying in a different direction, the fight to put you back in that box becomes very intense. So with that being said, I will definitely do a follow-up video for you all. If you have any questions, drop them below. Join in the conversation. How do you feel about generational curse keepers? Where have that type of energy reared its head in your life? And what do you have as advice for others?